Okay, we're back. We've got 8 minutes to go before the bell rings. Kid 3 has been escorted out of the trading room, the Fortress of Solitude. And I told him, I said, hey, you got to make like a tree and leave. And as he walked out, he giggled and said, it's make like a tree and get out of here. So if you know which movie that comes from, well, you got it right. You're pretty cool. So let's take a look at it now. So we made that sweet trade on the SPY. And then my buddy Brian, of course, has got me all fired up about just rolling these calls out. So I was looking at Coke. I was going to let it just ride out into the sunset, collect my $6,200 on my $5,900 and change initial investment because we got Coke skyrocketing up here. Well, it's down today a bit, but it's over $63 bills. So I thought maybe we'll roll it. When is the next dividend? So I got the dividends pulled up, dividend history on seekingalpha.com. It's probably going to be out into June, right? Yeah, because we just collected a dividend. They've raised it from 44 cents last year to 46 cents a quarter per share. Okay. Every quarter per, what are you trying to say? It's 46 cents per share per quarter, right? 4 times a year. They're going to pay you if you own the stock on the day prior to the ex-dividend date. Or I guess, technically what it is you have to have ownership when the market opens on the ex-dividend date. So when it comes to options and even trades, they don't always clear. Options typically take a couple of days to clear. So if you take possession via an assignment, then it may not be cleared by the time you need it to be for the ex-dividend date. So if we had to go past the middle of June, what would that look like on a roll? We better get moving here. You only have a few minutes. If we rolled this position, and it's currently at $62, we'd have to roll it to roughly June 16th. So if we looked to do that and we roll it, we could even roll it up 50 cents because it's at 62. This would be 62.50. We'd collect a net credit of 103. Then we would also lock in that dividend of 46 cents. So our math would probably be what? Our math would be $46 plus the 103 equals this. And then, let's just say that our investment is like 59.50. I know it's right around that number. That's not the math we wanted. 104 plus 46 equals 150 divided by $5,950. That's the math we needed, divided by the number of days, which would be 63, multiplied by 365. So that doesn't meet our criteria of the 14.6%, does it? It does not. So if we did the old bear claw trade, we would trade it at a lower strike, collect more dividend, and that would be the bear play. So you would change that number to 297 plus, right? $297 plus your 46 dividend, and then you would divide it by your 59.50 divided by the number of days, 63, multiplied by the 365 annualized. Now you're at 33.3%, and it's still at a strike above what you paid. And in the meantime, if your thesis is that the market will be maybe slowly trickling down, then you're still sitting pretty. So I think we'll do that. I think we'll try to get in on this since it has a low likelihood of filling. What about 292? High likelihood. What about 3? Can we get a amen? Can we get 4? What about 5? $295 bills in our credit to roll this out and down. We're rolling it out and down. We need it to fill before this day closes. Boom, 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 boom. Let's just ask for less. We'll ask for less, but put the dollar bills on our pocket, lock that next dividend in. So back to this Back to this, back to reality. What about 290? 290. It's at 287 to 305. That should work. I mean, what's the deal here? Let's see what happened. Is it pending or did it go through? It looks like it happened. So we put that money, that credit into our pocket, rolled it out into the middle of June, locking in that next dividend opportunity, not triggering any tax event by having the shares called away at a profit. And then we've cleared the boards for today's expiration. So there we have it. Did we want to consider a trade through the weekend expiring on the end of the day, Monday on SPY, based on where it's at right now, for 1260? It's running up. It's running. We could get some action. Could get some action on a call credit spread for Monday with some decent premium at a reasonable low delta. Let's go out to Monday. April 17th. And if we looked at, where's the 5? Is the 5 delta? Let's see. What's this? That's too high right there. So at 417, okay, against the 421. That's 4 wide, Bart. That's crazy talk. Yeah. It's only one position, but if you add it by 5. So let's look at that. It's a 417. Continue. At 7 cent credit, 5 contracts, $35 on $2,000 collateral. Call credit spread. Let's see what we can do here. See if we can get those 5 filled. There we go. 35 on 2,000. 3 days. $35. There's the bell. Got that trade in right there. Of course, I can still trade SPY after the bell, after hours. So it's at 1.7% in 3 days, divided by 3 equals this, multiplied by 365, 212% return on collateral. If the trade goes exactly how we need it to go, it could blast right through our strike price and we end up dirty dogs with a lot of blood on our hands and a tremendous loss. But we keep track of them all. We keep track of all those trades to see how we do. That's a wider spread than I would normally take. I typically go $2 wide, but I felt that this 417, that's going to open up. If the weekend does what I think it's going to do, which is next to nothing pre-market on Monday, it might be a little green, but I don't think it's going to be much green. So this 417, it's going to have a lot of theta decay, and we may be able to just capture some dough by 10 or 11 a.m. on Monday. We'll see. That's the thesis. That's the idea. I'm going to be checking back with you because I got to update my positions. I might start giving a weekly update on the weekend just for my own good to keep track of all the trades, because I have been increasing the volume of trades, trying to work on creating that cash flow, making it predictable, clicking it up just a little bit on the average. We have a $10,000 a month goal, but I want to snowball the options dividends into more. I want to snowball the options premium into more dividend stocks that we can then hold and just trade conservative covered calls as a component, as a department. If this was a business, there was different departments. One of them would be the dividend stocks with conservative covered calls as to not be called away. Then you'd have your wheel department. Then you'd have your Wheel of Fortune department. Then you'd have your SPY trades based clearly on put credit spreads and call credit spreads. Then you'd have your individual stocks that you are selling puts on with no expectation or no desire to own the stock, but you would own it if it came down to it. Then you'd have your credit spreads on individual stocks that are purely premium plays. That would be your business. That'd be, and then you'd have your interest that you're collecting. Then you would even have, well, what kind of leverage should we work with on the margin side in order to increase our percentage of returns? Because I haven't tapped into $1 bill of the margin yet. So we'll get into all of that. That's what we have coming up here on the Wealth Snowball. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a glorious, glorious weekend. Make sure you are indeed a subscriber, like the video, and leave me a comment. In fact, let me look this up while I'm thinking about it. So we met with the accountant, and it was actually good news. It was good news. PTET tax bill. Oh, you did it again. Don't talk over me, Yahoo Finance. So the pass-through entity tax, all right. So that was enrolled into law February 22nd, 2023. So that benefits those who have small businesses or businesses in general. So for me and my bride, it is trying to read and talk at the same time. That will never happen. So that's beneficial for us. We have, I don't know, 4 companies, and that sounds way more fancy than it is. They're small companies. One is an S corporation, the other 3 are LLCs. And so we can now pass through we pay our taxes at the corporate level with regard to Indiana state taxes, and then we receive a credit for doing so on our federal taxes that pass through to our individual taxes. I know none of that really makes sense, but at the end of the day, basically what it does is it helps small business owners. It helps those like me who we need some tax breaks because we get taxed a lot, especially when we're paying our employees and we have to pay for the different federal taxes and Indiana employment taxes and unemployment taxes and all the things that are involved. But it was a good meeting. It was a great piece of news. She'd already told us about it, but basically what we had to do was sign up for each of these, and then she also had our taxes prepared, so we were there to sign our tax returns as well. So that was nice. It's very nice. It's nice to have a meeting with your accountant and not be hit over the head like I was last year with, here's your tax bill. What? That could not be possible. Like I always say, hey, the more tax you make, that means the more money you make. And there we have it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.